twist, and thank God I get to do this Raw recap and review from August 17, 2026 in Buffalo, New York. If you enjoy WWE content like this, where we talk about discussions and what's going on in the WWE, subscribe to the channel now. We get a new Raw recap and review every week, and we do the reviews for the PLEs. Like the next one coming up soon will be Sunday's night's main event coming out in September. So we'll have a review after that. And also on this channel, we do WWE 2K26 content. We just released the second episode for the My Rise. I'll be recording the next episode this week, so that'll be coming out soon. Check out the link below for if you want to check out my music. Now let's get into the first segment of Raw. Start off with Raw with Stephanie Vaquer popping out. She just returned a couple weeks ago. She gets down to the ring and she says she's only here for one reason, and that is for her title. So she tells Liv Morgan to pop out and stop being scary. And Liv pops out, but not alone. She pops out with Roxanne Perez and the Intercontinental Women's Champion Raquel Rodriguez. You know, she mentions how, you know, there's been a lot of talks from people like Becky saying she's negating the history of women's wrestling, and she says she doesn't care. She doesn't care what she thinks. With women from the past, women to the future, the only thing she really cares about is herself. And she says she's a champion for herself. And she says, "You keep saying this is your title, Stephanie, but I'm the one that beat you at WrestleMania, and I'm the one that whooped you after WrestleMania and had you leave for 3 months." And she says, funny, like, you and Beck keep hating on me, but I'm going to end up being the longest reigning women's champion of all time. And Stephanie says, you know what? You say you're not scared. You're not scared of me. Why don't you pop out to the ring? And Liv's like, okay, you know, it's 3 of us. You know, it's going to be really stupid, but let's go. They get into the ring. And Stephanie gets the first attack in, knocks down Liv. That leads to Raquel and Roxanne then attacking Stephanie, but Stephanie ends up getting them outside the ring, and then gets into the big brawl, fighting back and forth with Liv. But then Roxanne and Raquel stop it. They start jumping her, and then Becky Lynch pops out. The man, she pops out. Then she starts fighting on the outside with Liv, throwing them into the barricades, fighting with Roxanne and Raquel. Then she gets back into the ring. That leads to having a big face-off with Stephanie again. But that leads to Liv then pulling Becky to the outside. And that leads to Liv then grabbing Becky and throwing her into the corner ring post. That leads to Stephanie then jumping off the apron onto Liv, knocking her down. But then Raquel hits a big boot onto Stephanie, grabs her, puts her in the ring. That leads to Liv then hitting a big code breaker on her, right into Pop Rocks by Roxanne, and that leads to Judgment Day standing tall over Stephanie Vaquer in the middle of the ring. So Liv, another win for her, it's looking like what's most likely is gonna happen is gonna be a triple threat between Liv, Stephanie, and Becky, and that's gonna be really, really fun. I'm pretty sure Liv's gonna win that again, but I think the match will be really, really good. And after that, we get backstage with Jimmy and Jay, excited, leaving their locker room because today is the day they deliver Solo Sikoa to Roman Reigns, and like, come on, Solo, come out. They're yeeting, they're going pew pew pew. I got the big gun, pew 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 pew. Just like I got a machine gun, pew 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 pew. And they end up walking past LA Knight, and you know, it was just like, stay in your lane. We gotta handle this business. And then we get a commercial break, and then from the commercial break we get an impromptu match because during the commercial break, because I'm in America, I don't see what's happening on. I guess a promo was happening on of Dom and JD complaining about not being in the tournament for Roman Reigns in Mexico City, and Jevon Evans was in the middle of the ring telling Big Cass to pop out. I guess they had intervened in that, so they got into an argument. That leads us to the first match of the night. We get Jevon Evans versus JD McDonough. Like most matches, they start off with a tie-up. They lead onto the corner. JD gets the ref separation and then pushes and slaps the taste out of Jevon. And Jevon said, "You ain't that to me." Slap, push that man down to the ground, hit him with a big drop kick right into the big bouncy run off the rope. into a drop kick that ends up making JD roll to the outside. You know what that means. It's time to go outside. But Dom ends up grabbing Jevon's leg, at least to JD getting back into the ring and then slamming Jevon right into his knees. A big back break onto his knees. Then tries to go for a standing Rana, but Jevon then puts the knees up right there, and then at least JD then running outside the ring out of the way. Jevon gets outside, intervenes, grabs JD, throws him to the barricade, clotheslines him over, and then does the we outside over the barricade onto him. But he tweaks his knee in the process. He grabs him though, puts him to the ring. He's about to jump off. He's about to do the springboard clothesline, but Dom distracts him. That leads to JD then dropping down, grabbing his leg, pulling him down, right to the ring post, and then slamming his knee back and forth into the ring post. Now that's going to lead on to the rest of the match of his knee being messed up. Then they get back into the ring. He's grabbing his leg, doing a whole bunch of leg manipulation, putting his leg on the corner, jumping on it, slamming it down on the ground, putting into little submission moves. And Jevon's trying to fight back, but every time he tries to fight back, JD stops him. The biggest leg move he does is the dragon screw. I love the dragon screw. That's like one of my favorite moves. Then that leads to Jevon then leaning on the rope, and JD's finna hit him, but Jevon does his signature flip out of that, but he hurts his leg in the process, but still finds a way to hit the rope and to jump up and kick him in the head with the red dye. That leaves him in the corner now. JD corners him. He tries to swing at him, but he goes dumbass and then stumps his foot instead of a super kick right into a big punch. That leads to him pulling him down to the spinning corner kick. Then he goes to the outside of the apron, hits him with the springboard clothesline. 1, 2, kick out from JD. That leaves Jevon then trying to get the match over with, tries to go for the OG cutter. He misses, hits his leg hard again, right into a big headbutt from JD, that Funko Pop, and it looked nasty. It looked disgusting, by the way. Right into pick him up. Then he picked him up in with a big brain buster. 1, 2, kick out from Jevon, though. He's not leaving like that. Then JD tries to get the match over now. He tries to go for the moonsault, but that gets stopped by Jevon. And then he goes up and grabs his head and slams it on the ring post, which was nasty. But then JD drops down and slams him on the turnbuckle. That leads to him trying to go for the moonsault. He misses but lands on his feet, and instantly as he's missing, Jevon instantly gets up, goes for the OG cutter. Bow! 1, 2, 3. That boy bouncy. Good W for Jevon. Selling of the knee was really, really good, but at the same time it's still bad because doing the crazy move still, he's just going with it. But overall, I love that match. This match was really great. Very, very much a lot of fun, a lot of impact, hard-hitting moves. I give the match a 4.5 stars. This was a great way to open up Raw. Match-wise, and then Jevon, like he did earlier, was saying, nah, come out, Big Cass. He was looking at the stage, but Big Cass popped out from behind, attacks that man from behind, hits him up, hits him with the East River Crossing again for the 3rd straight week in a row, and he leaves. But Jevon hurt. He said, Big Cass, is that all you got? And Cass says, okay, I like that. He turned around. He finna get in the ring, but instantly get a big punch by Jevon on the rope. Tries to hit, then he hits him with a big suicide dive right there. And as he's getting up, Dirty Dom and JD were still on the outside of the ring. Dirty Dom grabs him and throws him into the ring post. That leads to Big Cass. Big damage on that boy Jevon. He throws him back and forth into the barricades. Gets him to the ring. Hits a big crazy boot with the Timberland on. And then he heads out the ring after that. So Jevon, even when he win, he lose. Ain't that some shit? Then we get straight to the second match of the night. It is for the Roman Reigns tournament happening in Mexico City. We got Rey Fenix versus El Fiscal, who is a wrestler from AAA. And they get into a tie-up. Fiscal gets the offense early by hitting a big shoulder tackle into that. And then they have a big rolling leapfrog reversal back and forth to a stalemate. They look at each other. Rey hits him with a big drop kick. Then Fiscal does a top rope spinning crossbody onto him, which was really cool to see. He goes for the pin. 1, 2, kick out from Rey. Then Fiscal picks him up, tries to hit him with an Irish whip, but Rey does a handstand flip off the rope right into a big stunner. He goes for a pin off that. 1, 2, kick out from Fiscal right there. That leads to them then going to the top rope where they're fighting back and forth. And that man, Ray throws him down into the apron. Back first. Fiscal gets up though. He's hurt. That leads to the goodbye amigo, which is if you don't know about Ray Phoenix, he's usually on SmackDown when he wrestles, but he runs the rope and kicks you dead in the face, which is really cool to see. And then does an outside crossbody off the top rope onto Fiscal. That leads into the commercial break. We get back from the commercial break with Fiscal now has advantage. He picks up Ray Phoenix in a military press right to the rope, right to the throat right there, right into a big spinning clothesline. Nasty. Boom. 1, 2. But kick out from Phoenix. Fiscal's having an advantage, but Ray, he gets a comeback in by hitting a big super kick, then a kick to the stomach, and then a big scissors kick right to the head. And then going to the top rope, and then at least him hitting a big moonsault right then and there. Goes for the pin. 1, 2. Kick out from Fiscal right there. That leads Ray trying to get it over. He runs towards Fiscal, but Fiscal catches him and then does a spinning tombstone. But Ray finds a way to reverse out of that into a big pin. He kicks out of it, and Ray hits him with the double knees, and then he sets him up on the top rope for the Mexican Muscle Buster. Boom! Shout out Samoa Joe. 1, 2, 3. Ray Phoenix moves on in the tournament. He's getting closer and closer to fighting his brother, Penta, if you don't know. Very good lucha match, hard hitting, good back and forth. I give the match a 4.25 stars. A little less better than the Jevon JD match, but overall a really good match. Then we get backstage again, and we have an interview for Stephanie Verker. She's upset about getting hurt, and Kathy Kelly goes on to tell us that she'll be able to get revenge because next week she's going to have her first match back against Roxanne Perez, especially because Roxanne is the one that that injured her and made her leave for 3 months. Steph says, like I said, Liv always needs 3 people to help her beat her up, and that she's going to get a revenge against Roxanne next week. Becky Lynch then walks in and says, hi, good job there, look what you did right there. And Stephanie's like, hold on, I didn't ask for any of your help. I'm already gonna handle Roxanne. That's my problem. Don't get involved and make yourself a problem for me. And Becky says, hold on now. If you're going for that belt, I'm your biggest problem because you're gonna have to deal with me. So, hey, they might have a match at Sunday's night main event. Out cook. That was good. They might have that 1-on-1 at Sunday's night. So we'll have to see. Then we get into a little vignette of Lyra Valkyria hating on Sol Ruka. Talking about how everyone's popping up, everyone's talking highly about her when she's the one that's really better, and she's going to prove it because next up we're going to have Sol Ruka versus Lyra Valkyria, and this is basically a title eliminator to fight Raquel Rodriguez. They're both former champions, and they both want to prove that they should be fighting next for the title. The match starts up with a big tie-up between the women, which turns into a big headlock by Lyra. She does some wrestling takedowns back and forth, flipping over, but then Sol does a takedown of her own, and now she has the headlock right on her. That leads to them both chain wrestling back and forth, but Lyra gets the advantage by grabbing Sol's arm, leading to some arm manipulation. She's wrenching on it. That leads to Lyra then doing an Irish whip on the Sol, but she does a flip out of it, right into a big drop kick onto Lyra. That drop kick leads to Lyra going to the outside of the ring. Sol then goes on the apron, and she dodges an attack by Lyra by doing a big handstand, and then dodges another attack by doing a big cartwheel right into the big kick on the Lyra, right into the big apron corner moonsault to Lyra on the outside. It's a fire moveset from Sol. That leads her picking her up, and then getting her back into the ring. Sol tries to get to the high flying moves again, tries to jump off the rope, but Lyra literally kicks the rope, which makes Sol fall down, head ahead, whiplash straight onto the mat right there, and then she gets down and starts punching her back and forth on the ground, and that leads on to the commercial break. After the commercial break, we get Lyra getting thrown to the outside where the apron is. Sol tries to walk toward, but Lyra then pulls down on the rope. She gets back into the ring, then grabs Sol, slams her back and forth into the mat, but Sol fights back out of it by hitting a big knee onto Lyra. That leads to them having a big double down right there. They both get up. Sol starts getting her comeback in, multiple elbows, back and forth, right into the throw into the corner, suplex. She then goes to the middle rope, hits the big missile drop kick onto her, right into her signature kip up. She getting hyped, right into the big knee, right down on the ground. 1, 2. But Lyra kicks out of it, man. She's crazy now. She don't feel pain for real. Lyra saying, no, no, no. Oh, Soul's like, oh, now you scared now. Come here. She grabs her arm, does the big lift up, flips her midair right into a German. Crazy right there. Never seen that before. And then she gets her to the outside. That leads to, after the German, Lyra rolls out to the ring. That leads to Soul then trying to hit the cartwheel moonsault. But as soon as she's about to go outside for the moonsault, Lyra gets on the apron, pulls down her neck on the rope. Crazy reversal. Never seen that before. That was hard. She goes to the top rope, hits a big top rope leg scissors to Soul. 1, 2. Kick out from Soul, though. She not going out either like that. Then we get to a segment where Lyra is trying to get the match over. She tries to go for the Nightwing, but that gets reversed by Soul. She flips out of it right into a big handstand. And at least Lyra then trying to pick her up, but she gets flipped around back into a big tornado DDT right there. At least Lyra then trying to get up, but she near the corner. You know what that means. Soul Snatcher. 1, 2, 3. Big W for Soul. She needed that. She needed a W in the ring. She been losing a lot after losing that belt. She got a good W. Good back and forth match. I wonder how completely they're going to be going with this with Lyra. I feel like she got the dub on Bayley, and it's not leaning on to nothing. So they got a lot to do, work to do. But overall, I give this match a 4 stars. Really good. I love Soul's like aggression. It's kind of like with Jevon Evans lately. Jevon has been a really aggressive in his matches, and I like Soul's aggression in this match so far. Then after that match, we get a segment where the Usos meet up with Jacob Fatu, and they're basically flexing on Jacob because he wasn't able to get Solo like they were. And that is going to be the end of part 1. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Click up here so you can keep watching on with the review so you can know what happens when Solo Sikoa gets delivered to the tribal chief. Remember, y'all, Jesus loves you. Now watch part 2.